Welcome to ASAP Elite. I'm your host, Coach Penn, along with the world's greatest co-host, Professor Haas. Today's guest is the epitome of professionalism. Entrepreneur, 13-year NFL career, Super Bowl champion, and the pride of Spring Valley High School in Columbia, South Carolina, Mr. Willie Williams. Thank you so much, man, for taking time out of your busy day. You know, I know that you're so busy doing philanthropical work. If that, well, you know, being you're working philanthropy and just making lives better for the people around you and the communities that you came from. And you know, we just want to thank you for coming along and you know, spreading your wisdom through your experience. All right. All right. So can you do us the honor of introducing yourself to our audience, explaining how you were introduced to football and your career up until it was time to hang up the cleats?
Again, my name is Willie Williams. I played 13 years in the NFL. And I got interested in football when I was 10 years old. One of my parents' best friend, he was a painter. So he came and painted our house, and we was outside just messing around. And when he opened his trunk, I saw some football helmets. And I asked him about it. You know, I didn't know how to put a football helmet on or anything. He had to show us how to do all that stuff. Until then, at that point, I was interested. So I ended up playing for a Pop Warner football team down in South Carolina when I was 10 years old. And ever since then, you know, I played from high school, played middle school, high school, all the way to college, and had an opportunity to play in the NFL. I was drafted in 1993 in the sixth round. A lot of people was telling me that I couldn't play because I was so small. I'm 5'8", about 185 around that time in 1993 when I was getting drafted. But I ended up playing 13 years. So, you know, I beat those odds. And so it was a great opportunity that I had opportunity to bring in some income and set my family up for financial freedom. And it's all about trying to get my mind right and get ready for retirement. But I had an injury to my right shoulder back in 2002. And it just prolonged all the way out to the end of my career. So I couldn't take it no longer. So I just had to give it up. So I retired in 2006. And but I can't complain. You know, I didn't want to retire like that, but I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So I ended up just retiring and got into personal training. Right after I retired, training high school kids, high school athletes, and did that for about 8 years. While I was doing that, I got into high school football coaching just to keep me going and keep me interested in what I love doing. And I coached football for about 15 years, and I recently retired back in 2019 from high school football. Just wasn't, you know, the kids these days, they're a little different.
Yeah.
They don't understand work ethic. They don't understand hard work. So that was just something that, you know, I had to go through. It's just trying to, you know, it's like talking to a brick wall to trying to get kids to even come to a summer workout these days. So, so I just, you know what, I got tired of the all of the shenanigans and just had to give it up. So I just ended up decided to retire and just move forward to other things that caught my interest.
I understand. Hey, just in addition, man, this goes unnoticed and people don't really talk about this, but South Carolina is just as much responsible for producing professional athletes as South Florida. You know, y'all got some ballers out there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. We had 8 people. We had 8 guys that graduated from Spring Valley that played in the NFL.
Whoa.
8. Wait, 8 total. Well, actually, we probably have more because, you know, it's been a while since I've been down there. But I know 8 people right now that I know of that played at Spring Valley, and then we got some that came after us.
Is Zion from Columbia?
Yeah, I'm from Columbia.
Is Zion from Columbia?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's from Columbia. Yeah. So
what's my boy name in the news? Kwame Brown.
Yeah, he's from South Carolina as well. Yeah. Of course, you got LeVon. He's not from Columbia, but he's from South Carolina. So we got a lot of athletes in South Carolina.
David Clowney.
David Clowney's from South Carolina too.
I can go on and on and on, man.
Yeah.
Tebow Samuels.
Yep. He's from South Carolina as well.
Yeah, we'll be here till 12:30 talking about y'all.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Yes, sir. Hey, as being from Detroit, I had the honor to be at your last ball game.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I was
Super Bowl.
there.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The bus last ride.
Right. Right. Right.
Mr. Willie Parker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Hines Ward and
Yes, sir.
Troy Polamalu. Yeah. Yeah. That was a great that was a great year. I was injured at the time. I couldn't play. But man, I tell you, just to get that one Super Bowl ring, it just made everything that you worked so hard for, and it took me 13 years to even get one. I went to a Super Bowl back in 1995, Super Bowl 30,
I
but
remember.
we came out on the short end of that one, and I thought that we'll go back that previous year, but it took me 10 years after that to get back to another one.
Yeah,
So
that Pittsburgh, that '06 Pittsburgh Steelers team was a little different. I think you guys got hot at the end. And
yeah,
I want to
hmm
say that this is the team that went into Indianapolis. And
yeah,
yeah, and I want to say Ben fumbled and
fumbled at the goal line.
he
That was
chased up.
Jerome Bettis fumble at the goal line.
That's
Ben
right.
picked the
That's
ball.
right.
Ben picked it up, and we end up getting it. And that was just a man. I tell you what, when that play happened, I think I saw about 20 guys just drop straight to their knees, and I was
Right.
one of them actually. So
It was like everybody in there, like I said, I dropped to my knees too. It was unbelievable.
yeah, head down, and next thing Ben saved us. So that was a great, 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 great play by him.
Yeah. So let me get into how you affected me personally.
Okay.
Okay. I recently watched the AFC Championship game.
Mhm.
That's personal to me because my coach, Go Blue, was
Okay.
flustered. He was flustered every play during the second half. Like he was getting jumped by a team full of number 27 jerseys. Lord, man, the way you were coming off the edge, the way you were jumping passes, man, that's something that's a certain time segment that is kind of historical. You get what I'm saying? When a player is in a zone, I was sitting there watching that game with my father.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a little personal because I can recall all these things, but pretty much after 13 years, which is a rare opportunity, you decided to hang up everything. So were the signs that it was time to walk away pretty much predominantly your shoulder? Because as a receiver, I had that same CV joint also, and I could bump to the wall and it would go out.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the sign predominantly your injury?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the injury because I can play with it, but I think it was like they was bringing in younger players, but they wanted to keep me around as that player coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just to keep me around, just to teach other young players. I didn't have a problem doing that because that's what I did for my last 5 years in the league anyway. So I didn't have a problem, taking a step back and coaching up the younger players, which I always was that type person. I always wanted to help other people. That's just how I was. That's just how I was raised. And my dad being a Baptist minister is all about helping others. So I didn't have a problem doing that. But it was just all about them bringing in young players. And I had since my mindset was already okay. Well, they trying to get rid of the older guys, myself, Rod Woodson, Deion Figures back at the time, and so and I believe that
Yeah,
year,
Figures was beast.
yeah. So that was one of the reasons, and plus my injury. I said, you know what? I think it's time because my shoulder was not healing at all. So I was just like, oh well, I guess it is time to hang up the cleats.
Yeah, I understand.
So
speaking of your I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what I just wanted to say, because you played 13 years, and we talked about the fact that that's longevity in the NFL, especially right, and it's really longevity in any sport.
Yeah. And in the industry,
but in the entire professional sports industry. And so the thing is understanding that, and correct me if I'm wrong, the average NFL player plays for 2.5 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, 2.5 years. Yep, 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that we've been talking about with our past guests, we had a really in-depth conversation with JJ Burton, about it, and he talked about you know, planning for life after football, right? And there are a lot of athletes that honestly never do it because I don't know if it's short term and they figure they're going to play longer than they do. But for you, when did that transitioning and planning for life after football?
To be honest, I think that mindset started to roll in when I was around my 8th year in the league.
Okay.
But at that time, I was wishing somebody would have grabbed me my first year. Just the salaries back then wasn't all that. It was good for a guy like me coming from Columbia, South Carolina, not having anything at all. But now, compared to the salaries now, I mean, I wish somebody would have grabbed me my first 2 years and really like set me down and say, listen, you got to start planning now. I heard that. I heard that thing. Oh, the average years is 2.5, 3 years. I heard that, but I wasn't paying that no attention. I was young. Just wanted to get out there on the field and play. I didn't pay that no attention. But after my 8th year, that's when I really started to like, okay, I'm bringing all this in. I'm just paying out bills. Ain't nothing else coming in. So I got to have another stream of income. So I was like, okay, I talked to my agent, my financial advisor, said, okay, what can we do to start planning now? Because it's no guarantee I'm going to play the next year or whatever. But, I was very fortunate to play, 5 years after.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is good. And I've been very fortunate to have my support team that really guided me in that right direction. I think that's what a lot of the guys was lacking. I say my 4th year in the league, a lot of guys came from nowhere. A lot of guys came from the projects in the NFL, didn't know how to handle money. I think the mindset was a little different for a lot of guys actually that came to the league. The mindset, they just wanted the big cars, wanted to spend on jewelry and stuff like that. And
that's still prevalent today.
Yeah, it's today. I mean, a lot of the young guys, of course, everybody have that dream of want to go to the NFL, but everybody can't go. That's just the reality of everything. So, that's how my mindset is set into about my 8th year in the league. So that's when I got serious about investing.
So when around the time a little bit before you came into the league, Prime Time had pretty much set the persona, for how NFL or professional athlete is supposed to be. I remember sitting there at his draft, with nothing but jury on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly. When he said, if my squad, the Lions, draft him, he gonna ask for so much that they gonna have to put him on layaway.
I remember that. I remember those words.
Oh boy!
I was like, it's a different breed.
Like,
he's a different breed.
Yeah, that's all right. We got the other.
See, but you got to realize Dion came in. He was already playing professional baseball, right?
Yeah.
So you can make statements like that when you already got a fallback plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the dude was, and he knew he was gonna, and he made a lot of money. In fact, I don't know if he made more, but he made a lot of money playing baseball. And when you come in there with that, when you got pocket aces.
Exactly.
You can say stuff like that,
Exactly.
That was just the first thing that he said.
Right. Hey, no. It's Dion.
For sure. Yeah, that was him. Hey, hey, Willie, I do want to bring up. You said that your father was a Baptist preacher, right? Correct.
Right.
All right. So with you being raised in the church, how did religion and spirituality play a part during your career? And how is it playing a part now?
Oh man, it's a big part. All the things that my dad was teaching in the church and teaching at home, I'm starting to see it as a when I was getting older and older. It's always having faith. You're always gonna have hard times. Everybody, I don't care how good you think someone has it, they're gonna have some hard times, and you gotta have your faith and your beliefs to get through the hard times.
That's right.
So I think that back then I was younger. Everybody said the preacher's kids are always the worst ones, which I believe that because we were bad kids back then. But my dad kept us straight. My dad kept us straight. But as I got older, I started to see. I started to realize that I need to just get my life together because I know where I'm from. I saw people in some hard times that just never got themselves together with God. But my dad always kept us focused. If if you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't have faith, if you don't believe in this, it's not going to happen. And
Yeah.
everything came to be true. So I started to realize that, hey, I gotta have faith. I gotta continue to believe in my God. I'm not trying to. I don't preach to people, but I just tell them, hey, this is how I get through. This is how I get through the hard times. We always gonna fall on hard times, but the way I get through it is keeping my faith, getting on my knees, and by praying every night, every morning before I start my day. So
Well, yeah,
I'm
and
my
your
faith.
biggest testimony is going to be your the life you live anyways, right?
Right.
You can say
Exactly.
whatever you want to say, but
Mhm.
if you don't show that in the actions that you do on a daily basis,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
typically should tell people who you are and whose you are before you ever utter a word of God out of your mouth.
Exactly. Exactly. And I have a family. I got two young men, and a
Okay.
wife. So I gotta be their leader. I gotta be my boys' leader to let them know, hey, listen, without faith, it's not gonna happen. Without
Yeah,
God,
and,
it's
and
not gonna happen.
same way, two two
Right.
two boys and a wife. So yeah,
Right. Yeah. So I'm trying to keep them straight because so much is going on. You all know that so much is going on with our young men getting killed by police officers and
Oh yeah.
whatnot. All this stuff is just out of control, and I'm just trying to keep them straight. And now you don't need to be out at 3 o'clock in the morning. What's out there? Nothing. There's nothing out there at 3 a.m. in the morning
Yeah,
but
well, it's
trouble.
scary because it doesn't matter what time now. Like, we
Yeah,
used to
it
could
doesn't
say,
matter.
son,
Yeah.
if you do this right, you keep yourself safe. And the scary
Yeah.
part as a father is now I don't know what to tell him to keep him safe because the thing
Exactly.
is that it doesn't
Broad
necessarily
daylight.
matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what
So
time
it's
of day
just
now these days.
yeah,
You're right.
being a parent in these times, especially of young black men, that is
It's
scary.
tough. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's get into something that we really need to share,
Okay.
with the culture. Right now, we are wagering risk and reward without having stable data and statistics. Cryptocurrency, it has been
hmm
coined the future, and some experts say it can replace the dollar. The
hmm
younger demographic has been openly expressing interest in things like stocks and Bitcoin and Dogecoin, etc. Can you explain cryptocurrency and its theory to our audience that wants to know more about it and how it really works?
Yeah. Well, the digital currency, man, it's simple. Because everybody's not. I don't know when the last time I had $20 in my pocket.
Don't carry
I don't
cash.
know when the last time I carried cash in my pocket because the digital space now is just trying to take over. I've been in cryptocurrency for about 5 years now. The first thing that got my attention was Bitcoin, but it was just so expensive. So I wanted to look at other altcoins, which is other any coins that's other than Bitcoin. So
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin runs the market. We all know that. So I got into it, man, and just invested into it, and really was holding coins. I don't trade cryptocurrencies. I hold them because if it have a very use case scenario, I'll hold that coin for like Ripple. I'm probably sure you guys heard of Ripple, the XRP coin that they have. You got
Mm-hmm.
Stellar. Um, they have a use case scenario, but cryptocurrency is just simple. You're gonna be paying for your groceries with cryptocurrency, with some kind of currency. You're gonna be paying your gas with some kind of cryptocurrency.
All
You're
right,
not
so
gonna pull out that credit
uh,
card or
let me stop you real quick. So let's put it where the goats can get it. For my
hmm
father, and my
yeah,
uncle
yeah,
that have
yeah.
no clue what cryptocurrency is.
hmm
So yeah, if we can explain to them the origin of it and what its purpose is, and how it functions. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Okay. Yeah. What the function is just holding cryptocurrency, and it's just like a form of payment.
Okay.
A lot of just like you said, a lot of people thinking that the cryptocurrency is going to take over the dollar, and which
Mm-hmm.
you've got the government. A lot of them don't say that's not going to happen because they're going to regulate it. They're going to put these regulations on it where it's going to be hard for cryptocurrency to really have that growth in the United States. But
Yeah.
outside of the United States, cryptocurrency is huge. It's huge because it's just another form of payment, guys. That's
Yeah.
simple as I can put it. It's
Okay.
going to be another form of payment. Just like Bitcoin right now, you can go somewhere, they got Bitcoin ATM machines. You can
That's
buy
all.
Bitcoin.
That's
You know
all.
what I mean? So that's the simple as I can put it. It's going to be, it's, to me personally, I think it's gonna take over the dollar because you got
Well,
this young generation. This young generation, I say between 15 and 25 years old, even in the early 30s,
Yeah,
they are all about the cryptocurrency space,
I see.
and they're gonna make sure that it's not regulated. And you got a lot of people, a lot of these companies that develop their coins, they're not going to hold it here in the United States because of the SEC's regulations. They're gonna take it
right.
to another country, which
Mhm.
is not. I think the United States is gonna be behind. Just put it this way: they're gonna be behind if they allow the regulations take over and they end up moving their cryptocurrencies or company to another country and
Mhm.
let them take it over. So I think the United States just better wake up and just realize, hey, you better work with these people because it's not going to, it's going to take over.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh
Eventually, it's
yeah,
gonna have to go
and
through the mint. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead.
well, no, it's just the thing is that when you're talking about regulation, right? I mean,
mhm,
that's where we're gonna fall behind is because right now
right.
the
Hmm.
dollar is is
Mhm.
is regulated,
Hmm.
through the Federal Reserve and things of that sort. And so
That's right.
here's cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, right?
Hmm.
Is um it is it's definitely not set up to be monitored or regulated in the
Mm-mm.
same
Yeah, no.
fashion that the dollar is. So
Mm-mm.
Right.
the thing is, it's going to take a while because the powers at B are not willing to let go of that. And
Hmm.
so, just like you said, it's going to
Right.
take pressures from outside countries because what's going to happen is if all the other, major financial um, countries in the world actually
Mhm.
start going to this, then it's going to put
Hmm.
a pressure on the United States. And then, yes, we're going to be behind the
Hmm. Yeah.
behind the curve as far as that's
Great point.
concerned. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Great
it's
point.
it
Hmm.
can definitely it's something that they really need to look into, even though they don't necessarily, because as a business, right, and the country is one big business, you kind of
Hmm.
have to look at things, even if you don't necessarily want to go in that trend, if you see the trend going that way, or you
Yeah.
end up
Right.
with a
Right.
bunch of blockbusters and Toys R
Hmm.
Us and
Hmm.
and Sears and stuff like that because they didn't pay attention to the trends. And so
Hmm.
Mhm.
as a country, we have to pay attention to the trends because
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
people
And
start moving their
also,
money, I'll go ahead.
yeah, yeah, and also, I agree with them trying to regulate it because of the money laundering and
Hmm.
terrorists receiving bitcoins, stuff like that. I
Right.
get that. Yeah, let's take care of that. Let's take care of that. I mean, I get that. I'm all for that. So hopefully the government will just try to, nip that in the butt really quick. So and then I think once they get that taken care of, and I think that's their fear because of the money laundering how money is being distributed through cryptocurrency to terrorist groups and stuff like that. And hopefully they'll just buy into it. Okay, how can we have this done without putting too stiff regulations on the cryptocurrency market?
Well,
But hopefully they'll do stuff like that.
the only way I can see America really doing it is like going through the Federal Reserve and creating its own Bitcoin because they won't be
Yeah,
able,
yeah.
to go through these
Hmm.
different type of Bitcoins. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah,
Because now we're
yeah,
fighting with the dollar, with the euro, with the
yeah.
dinar, with the loonie. You get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that's a great point. But I'm gonna tell you, 95% of coins fail.
mm,
You got to be in that 5% to really have success. I mean, that just come from my research.
yeah,
Maybe it done increase or whatever, but they say 95% of coins fail. And if you look at the top five, you got Bitcoin, Ethereum, you got XRP is still up there, even though they going through a lawsuit with the SEC, and then you got Stellar that's on the rise, then you got VeChain, this other cryptocurrency that's coming up. But they have use case scenarios. They are using technology to solve problems. That's why their rate up so high because they're using technology. Bitcoin just on another level. It's
mm,
gonna take a while for another coin to come up and just take over Bitcoin, but Ethereum is really close to doing that. But but we just gotta just hopefully but it's just something else for these young people to look into and just look and just try to get into it and just invest into it and get profits. I think it's good for people to get into it.
yeah.
Well,
Hypothetically
definitely get
speak,
educated around it.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
Educate yourself first.
Yeah, that's what this is here. That's what this show is here for. The introduction. But okay, so say for instance, I wanted to buy 5 Bitcoins.
Okay.
how much would you have to invest, dollar wise, in order to purchase 5 Bitcoins?
Well, I'm gonna give you the exact number, Coach Robert. I'm gonna give you the exact number for Bitcoin right here. I'm gonna look at my phone real quick.
Okay.
If you want 5 Bitcoins,
Yeah.
you're gonna end up paying over $36,000 for 1 Bitcoin. So you do the math. 36 times 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
All right.
so
Let's say if we want 1 Bitcoin.
Okay.
The 36,000.
1 Bitcoin is still 36,000. See,
Yeah,
you can buy
36,000
less.
times 5.
You can buy less than a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy 1 Bitcoin.
Oh.
You can just take you $200 and say, I want some Bitcoin. You get 0.00 something Bitcoin. You could take $50, buy some Bitcoin. You don't have to pay 36,000 for 1 Bitcoin. You can get less than a Bitcoin. See, a lot of people mistakenly saying, "Oh, I gotta have $36,000 to pay one." No, you don't. That's for any cryptocurrency out there. If you want Ethereum, you can take you $10 and buy you some Ethereum. You'll get less than 1 Ethereum. Okay, that's the mistake a lot of people make because they don't understand it because they didn't do their research or whatever. You don't have to buy 1 Bitcoin or 1 Ethereum or 1 XRP. You can buy less. You can take any amount of money you want and put into Bitcoin. $500, $1,000. Yeah, you will just get 0.00 something, Bitcoin.
In return. All right. So say that I did want to put down $200 towards a share of a Bitcoin. What is a reputable site to go to, or location to go to purchase that? Because I'm sure it's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, Coinbase. Coinbase is the number one. To my opinion, it's up there. And Coinbase just went public about a month ago, anyway. So if you do your research, they just went public on the NASDAQ, I think. So Coinbase is the top platform that you can go and buy some Bitcoin. All you gotta do is just set up an account. And but one thing about it, just don't go purchase Bitcoin. If you don't know what you're doing, you would definitely lose your money into the blockchain space. Okay, so you got to understand how to purchase that Bitcoin. It's simple, but you got to get someone that's knowledgeable about it to help you get through it that first time. But it's all you got to do is set up an account with Coinbase. And if you want to purchase some Bitcoin, just connect your bank account, your debit card or whatever, and just get someone to help you through that, to help you, teach you how to buy some Bitcoin.
This is just another chapter of financial literacy. You get what I'm saying?
That's it. Right. That's it.
And one thing that I have a question about, and I've heard about this, I don't know a whole lot about it, but this this coin mining, what I mean, is there still a lot of that going on?
Say it again. Mining. Oh, yeah. A lot of people mine. Yeah, a lot of people mine Bitcoin. Actually, China, they stopped people from mining Bitcoin. Really? And that when they did that, Bitcoin price just went from over $60,000 to $36,000. I mean, people lost so much money because China stopped people from mining Bitcoin. I don't know what the reason for, but that just took a lot of people just like, okay, I got to go to another country to mine Bitcoin. But mining takes a lot of time. You really got to know what you're doing. Mining is a concept where you can pretty much earn free Bitcoin, but you got to have the mining equipment. You know what I mean? You're going to spend some money for that mining equipment. And I think a couple other coins too that's out there that you can mine, because I know Electroneum, when Electroneum first came out, you can mine Electroneum from your cell phone. And I think that was back in 2017, I believe. Yep, they allowed people to mine from their cell phones, but it was just a certain period of time where you can mine, and then they was going to stop that. So I ended up mining. I ended up getting 1,000 Electroneum and end up just investing my own money into it and just add it. And, if you want to mine, I'm not a big miner, so I don't deal with that stuff because it's just too complicated. But if you want to mine, you really got to look into it and just study it and probably you got to probably have to go to some courses or find some kind of courses that teaches you how to mine. That's just my suggestion if you want to mine.
Okay.
Oh, wow. This is all new to me also. So I'm asking questions, for the culture, for people who don't know, but yeah, I definitely need to
I remember the first time I heard about Bitcoin, it was about 2015, and one of my students I was teaching an introduction to business class. He brought up Bitcoin, and I was like, man, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's just like, oh man, you. And then he told me, he said, well, he said, you definitely want to look into it because it's going to be a hot topic, and the people that are in it are going to. And I was just like, oh, and now mind you, I'm the professor, he's the student, and all I had to do was take his. And it wasn't so much that I did because he was a sharp guy, but it was just that like it's that's how you miss out on stuff, right?
Yeah, right,
You have
right.
to definitely what I've learned from that particular experience is now when I have people who bring stuff at me, just like some of the stuff you're talking about, you want to educate yourself on it, look at it, see if it's something that is valid to be looked at. Because the thing is I think about that now. I could have got in back in 2015, 2016, and had a whole different kind of life right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's because when I was coaching back, I think it was like 2017. One of my players, he was talking about Bitcoin. I knew about it. I knew about it. He was just like, yeah, coach, man, I just made this and this on Bitcoin. Yeah, I made this and this on Ethereum. I said, oh, so you know about that cryptocurrency space, huh? I said, yeah, coach, we got about 10 of us on the team who's doing cryptocurrency. I said, what? It kind of shocked me.
Yeah.
But they were young at the time, but they know about the cryptocurrency. But that's what I was saying. This younger generation, people like my age, that's older, shoot, we got to catch up because if we don't, we're gonna get left behind.
That's right.
I mean, so,
we still learning how to work Instagram.
No, yeah, right.
Now, and one of the things that I can definitely say, and just by our interaction talking about cryptocurrency, and you talked about this even in your NFL career, is you had no problem helping and being that vet there to help bring along younger athletes. One of the things that I've actually seen with our guests that come on, the ones that actually are that are, if you will, the true teammates, the ones who will come in and have no problem working with other, but they have the longer career, right? You brought up Rod Woodson. Well, Rod Woodson was brought to the Ravens to help that defense. Listen, hey, I need you to be the captain or the quarterback of the defense. And so, a lot of times you have some athletes, you'll hear them talk about it, right? How they'll say, the veteran athlete, he's so afraid of losing his job that he's not willing to help bring along a younger guy. And I think that's that. I know it wouldn't have worked well for me because that's just who I am. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna try to help as many people as I can. But I could see that in just everything that you're talking about, from when is your willingness to talk to us about cryptocurrency to your longevity in the NFL. You love helping.
Yeah, I mean that's just me. Not just about football. Like you said, cryptocurrency, and I'm also trying to. We have a lot of young people that are doing a lot of trading for us, the foreign exchange market. I mean, it's just like that's all they do. They want to learn how to trade, which they are doing it now, which is something that I'm so proud of these young people taking control of their financial well-being. They're looking at, trying to do something, bringing in extra streams of income to be wealthy. Because my oldest son, he's 25, and he has a group of guys that they trade. They trade. They got a group that they trade together, and they went to the some academy that taught them how to trade, and they got access to everything that these big time professional traders have. You know what I'm saying? That they pay $5,000 and $10,000 to have scanners to trade and whatnot. But see, they went to the academy, and the CEO of this academy is really making things affordable for people like you and myself, like our generation that's trying to get to where these rich folks are. The financial bankers are just, taking control of the foreign exchange market. So that's what I've been doing for the past 6 months, been trading, and my son is doing it. I got my youngest son doing it. My wife is doing it. because the academy makes it so easy. And what I want to do is try to get a group of young men in my area to teach them how to really take advantage of this situation. Because if they don't start doing it now, um, I don't know when they're gonna start doing it. But like you said, we need to get these kids while they're young, while they're still in high school and college, and just try to get them together and start teach them other things outside of sports, because sports is not gonna last forever. You got to start, just like you said earlier, Mr. Haas, is that listen, life after football, life
Sure.
after track, baseball or basketball or whatever. Everybody's not gonna make it to the NBA. Everybody's not gonna make it to the NFL. What you want to do if you don't
And
make it?
those
Because
who
I
are
run it
aren't going to be there that long.
that long, exactly. Because when I retired and got into personal training, I ran into so many guys that was coming out of college, wanted that opportunity to play in the NFL, and I just have a really real talk with them and let them know that listen, did you get drafted? Did you get any teams come work you out at your school? And their answers to that question is like no. I said, okay, all right, obviously you're not on their radar, but not to try to not to try to destroy their dreams. I'll work them out the best way I can. I introduce them to an agent to try to help them out to get looks by a team, but it don't work out for them. And I always tell them, say, listen, man, you need to focus on not just that, focus on other stuff outside of the arena of football,
Yeah.
because it's not going. I learned a lot by playing NFL. Because I see a lot of guys come, a lot of guys go. A
That's
lot
right.
of guys come in after that second year, get injured, and next thing you know, you don't hear from them. So that's just being in there for so long and having that experience. I can share those things with other young athletes that's coming up. And
Gotcha.
I don't want me to take up all your time,
Oh,
but
you good. It's your
when I
time.
get
Oh
going,
no,
It's
I'll
your
no,
tell
yeah,
you.
time.
it's
It's
yeah,
your
no. We
time.
look, yeah, we're
So
trying to learn about you.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
I'm just
so
like
so so
shocked. So like
yeah,
wow.
so that's what I do. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with a actually he goes to Spring Valley High School. I had a conversation with a young man. He's a senior and he wants to go to the NFL.
Mhm.
And he's his grades not doing well. He's not getting his grades. He may be going to a JUCO school, and I just laid it down to him. I said, man, listen, if you don't get those grades right, not saying that you can't make it to the NFL by going to a JUCO school. It can happen. I knew some guys that make it to the NFL by going to JUCO.
Yeah.
Not saying that it won't happen, but the coach was telling me all the negative things that he was doing. He wasn't working out, wasn't getting it together in the classroom, just wasn't focused, hanging out all times of night. And I just laid into him like I was talking to my son.
Mhm.
I didn't hold back. I said, if you don't do this, this is not gonna happen. If you don't do this, this is not gonna happen. And I just told him flat out. I was real with them, saying everybody's not gonna make it to the NFL because if you don't have that mind, body, and soul into what you want to do,
Mhm.
it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And your work ethic got to be out the roof. You got to separate yourself from everybody else because if you don't, you're not gonna make it.
You know,
And get rid of your friends that's not trying to help you get there.
That's right.
that's right.
So
So one of the things I really, if you could for us, because there are a lot of people that a lot of athletes out there, right? That want to go to the NFL,
Mhm.
and they don't realize all it takes. If
hmm
you could for us, just talk about the mentality, because you already talked about the work, or you mentioned the work ethic, but how does that look? Just so that they can have a clearer picture of what
hmm
it takes to actually the path as far as what you have to do as an individual to make it to.
hmm Yeah, because I can start about my college days because I was a Prop 48 back then. If you didn't make, I had good grades, just didn't make the SAT score, so I ended up being a Prop 48. So I had to sit out 1 year in college football, and I loved the game so much that I thought about quitting because I couldn't play my freshman year.
Hmm.
I even sat there and cried about it. And then I used to sit up on the hill. We had a football. The practice field was like up on the down on the, in the our dorm was up on the hill, and the practice field was like at the bottom. I used to sit up on the hill, watch those guys practice, and just cry because I couldn't play that year. But what I did is that I said, you know what? I'm just gonna work my tail off. I stayed in the weight room. I was always a hard worker from day one, period. Because I didn't want anybody to outwork me. That's the number one thing. If you're gonna be a person that want to take it to that next level, even if you want to go to college or go to the NFL, you gotta tell yourself that no one is gonna outwork me. You gotta have that mentality, just like Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice always had that air attitude that you are not gonna outwork me. If you run a mile, I'm gonna run 2 miles. If you run 200, I'm gonna run 300. Okay, in track. If you run a 10.5 in 100 meters, I'm gonna run a 10.3 in 100 meters. That's the attitude, the mindset that you got to have, that you don't want anybody to outwork you. So after that year, man, it's just like I put on about 10 pounds all muscle, got faster, ran about a 4.3 something going into camp. And I just like laid it out. Didn't have no mindset of going to the NFL because I just love playing football, because I started when I was 10 years old.
This
I
what you
just
do.
love playing the game. Yeah, that's what I did that just about my whole life.
Yeah,
Just about.
for sure.
And then I started getting called. My coaches started telling me, "Oh, you got some NFL scouts coming in." That was my junior year. I was like, "Oh yeah, really?" I didn't believe it, because everybody was saying you're too small, you're too small, you're too small, you're too small. But you're not gonna outwork me. I was one of the hardest hitters on my team at 5'9", 170.
Just a
I was
dog.
one of the fastest. Because a lot of people thought I played safety because the way I came up and hit.
Yeah,
And that's
that's that
me.
explosion, baby. They don't know.
They don't know nothing about that. Exactly. You coach track, you ran track, so you know all about that explosion.
Hey, they saw it in that AFC title game for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just if you got it in you, it'll come out, because I think some people are born to play in the NFL. Like Clowney. I think that young man was born to play in the NFL. When I saw him, the first time I saw him, he was in high school, and he ran the 4x100 meters. That joker was big. I was like, yeah, that kid right there, I'm gonna see him in the NFL. And lo and behold, look what he's doing.
Number one overall pick.
Yeah, it's all about the work ethic, man. It's all about the work ethic, your mindset, your heart, mind, and soul. It got to be into it, 100%, 110%. It can't be 50%. It can't be 85%. Your mindset is what's going to take you. No matter all the physical part, it's not going to take you there. It's going to be your heart, your mindset, your heart, and your soul. You got to put everything.
I'm sorry, I got to jump in here because that's too good. I need everybody to listen what this man just said, right? You're sitting here talking about, we sit here and talk about going to the NFL because we're this super duper athletic and we just out athlete everybody. And he ain't say nothing about that.
Nope.
You know why? Because there's hundreds of thousands of amazing athletes that never go.
That's right.
Right.
And so I really need you to focus in on what this man just said, because he talked about the mindset. He talked about the work ethic. Nobody can outwork you. When other folks are resting, you need to be working. So keep going.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I just had to pull that out.
Oh, no, that's okay.
In addition, Willie, to have that character and the value instilled in you, to come in and do what a Willie Williams did, to do what a Miguel Cabrera does, to do what a Udonis Haslem does, to be the winning, what am I saying? The winning culture enforcer in that locker room to produce a successful franchise. It takes a special type of person to do that.
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, because I was a humble guy. I didn't talk trash, It's whatever. I'm gonna go out and get my job now. I'm gonna go work my butt off. I'm gonna work my tail off, and I just wanted to be the best. I didn't want to be just a special teams player. A lot of people come in there and they get consistent, they get complacent. Oh, I'm good just playing special teams. No, man, I don't want to be a special teams player. I want to be out there grinding with Woodson on the other side of me. I want to be out there grinding with Carnell Lake. I want to be out there grinding with Darren Perry, Greg Lord, Devon Kirkland.
Kevin Green.
I want to be out there with those guys. Kevin Green, Chad Brown. I want to be out there with those guys. Of course, I want to be out there playing with them. I don't want to just be a special teams player. And that's the mindset. You got to think beyond what you're doing. You may have to start in that mailroom on a job, but if your mindset is going to keep you in that mailroom, you will never succeed. You will never go to the top. You will never go to the top. You know what I mean? So if you're in that mailroom on your job, your corporate job or whatever, and you see, man, I want to get to the top. I want to be a CEO or something. Well, you got to grind to get there. It's not gonna be easy, but you got to put your mind,
That's right.
heart, and soul into it, 110%, and
All
that's
right.
the only way it's gonna get you there. I tell people, I just be flat out. I don't care how big, how tall, how small you are. It doesn't matter. It's all about that mindset.
Yeah. Hey, and just in addition to your Clowney example, he locked up that #1 pick in the Outback Bowl against my Wolverines.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
man, on that
Yes,
hit, on
sir.
that
That was the first time
hit,
I saw him, and I was just
on
like,
that hit.
to have that much explosion in such a short amount of distance. Like,
Hmm.
like I said, I'm a track guy, so when I see explosion, I
Hmm.
know what it looks like. And
Yeah.
when I saw, I was just like, man, like there's not a lot of people that can generate that much force in that short
Hmm.
of distance.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I
Well,
Right.
was just like,
so,
man, this dude right here is amazing.
That's all we know down in South Carolina is football. I mean, you say North Carolina is all about basketball, but that's all. But I'm serious. That's all we had to do when I was younger. We played football in the street. I mean, we played football everywhere we go. Went to the park and played football. That's all we knew. That's all we knew. And we used to race each other all the time. Oh, I'm faster than you. No, you're not. I can beat you down the street to the stop sign or whatever. That's all we did because we had nothing else to do.
That's right.
But we stayed active. We was outdoors. We wasn't playing video games like these kids doing today. You got grown-ups playing video games and getting paid for, which I'm not mad at them.
yeah, for
Hey,
sure.
do
Yep,
hey, do what fish your boat and gonna pay the bills,
yep,
you
yep.
know.
There you
But
go.
back then it was just different back in our era, So, and it was just engraved into me and my dad by seeing my dad how hard he worked, and my dad still working. And I be
Mm.
trying to tell him, Dad, why are you still going out to this construction site trying to hammer a
Right.
board to a wood? You got guys that can do that for you. Why are
Yeah,
you doing that? Oh, it's just in my soul, son. It's in
that's
my
who
soul.
he is.
I'm like, okay, that's just okay. I'm not gonna even argue with that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
that's just who he is. He said he gonna work when I'm having fun. I'm like, okay, say you having fun. I can't fault you for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I got something for you, man. So this
Yeah.
next question is a two-part question, and it's
Okay.
sponsored by Show Them We Care Foundation.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Hmm.
Around 2010, you created X Pro Group.
Right. Hmm.
All right. Can you explain to our audience what that is and its significance? And also the Show Them We Care Foundation is absolutely loaded with benefits that can positively affect lives.
Yeah.
What is the STWC Foundation and why was it created?
Okay, I was on a plane one day because I always wanted to give back to my community. I just didn't have I didn't have the people because I was in Seattle at the time when I created the foundation. That was like I was paying for Seattle. That was like across the other side of the on the West Coast. So I
Right.
was on a plane. I was on the plane going coming back home. I can't remember. I came up with the name. And I was on the plane going somewhere. Show Them We Care Foundation, and it's just something that I wanted to put together to try to help give back to my community in South Carolina. So we just put it together. I got everything situated. We are 501c3 and all that good stuff that you had to go through, and to have programs like teaching young people how to have computer skills,
Mhm.
teaching them how to go on job interviews, teaching them how to dress on it for a job interview, stuff like that. That we gotta help these kids to try to present themselves in a better light.
Mhm.
That's the main focus of the STWC Foundation because right now a lot of these kids don't know how to do that because they are being raised by teenagers. Some of
Mhm.
them, teenage mothers. You know what I mean? Their father's not in their lives. Their parents are just young. Then the community center that we have is directly in the projects
Mhm.
because those are the kids that we want to reach out to, and we have no issues. We getting young kids coming in there, learning. They're going to church. I have a minister that comes in every Sunday. They have Sunday school. They have church every Sunday. So that's working out for us. And we just want to show these kids that it's a better life. We raised money to try to take them on trips to like DC, but COVID, took control of that. We couldn't do anything,
Yeah.
so we had to
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's like we starting all over now. But we're still raising funds to try to help these kids to go visit other
Mhm.
places outside of Columbia. so they can get that experience to come to Washington D.C. so they can go downtown, look at the memorial, so they can go see the White House, stuff like that, so they can have that experience, so they can feel good about themselves once they get to a point where, oh man, yeah, I went to Washington D.C. Or we can take them down to Atlanta, Georgia, doing different things like that. Because back in my neighborhood, I went down there a couple of weeks ago. It's like it's nothing there. It's nothing there. And we got to get those kids out that environment. And the gang population is just growing. And we got to try to save them, because if not, who else is gonna do it? Because the gangs will get them, and we don't want that to happen. As far as the Expo Group is just a company that I formed that we do different things. We investment firm. We want to not investment firm. We want to help people how to invest in themselves, which is the trading concept and the cryptocurrency. And also, I used to make like athletic gear as far as the 707 tournaments that we have up here in Maryland. I made uniforms for the tournaments. We did that with the Expo Group. And now that we're teaching people how to use how to trade the high frequency trading, which is the Forex trading, binary options, Forex trading. But one thing, I got someone that can teach them how to trade cryptocurrency. I'm not into it, but I have someone in my group that can teach how to trade cryptocurrency. So those are some of the things that fall up under Expo Group, but the STWC is totally different. So Expo Group is just a company that I want to try to help our young men and women to see investment opportunities and invest in themselves, because they don't invest in themselves, who else will?
Yeah. How can we get that, the STWC in somewhere like where I am in Phoenix, in the south side of Phoenix, where it's needed so badly?
Yeah, all we got to do is just, all I have to do is just see, I got to register first. That's the first thing we got to do. We got to get it registered in Phoenix.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
I'm going to have to talk to my mother about that to see how we can get that done. If you definitely want to bring it to that area, we can do that. I mean, it's not going to be a problem. Yeah. All we got to do is just get the paperwork to register in Phoenix so we can be legal, because we trying to be legal doing things. So
right.
I was registered in Seattle, Washington. Now we registered in Columbia, South Carolina. But now you want to register in Phoenix, that's fine. We got to get everything legal for us, the paperwork concerned.
Yeah, don't forget about Houston. We definitely be using that there.
Yeah, Houston too. Actually, I got family members in Houston, so that'll be easy. So that's something that we have to do as far as taking care of that side of it. See, my mom is doing a lot of. She's taking control of that. All I gotta do is make one phone call, let her know what's going on. Let her know that I talked to someone that want to try to at least get something going in Phoenix and Houston or whatever. She'll start working on it. She'll start getting information, doing research, and just come back to me and say, okay, this is what we got to do.
Gotcha. Well, hey, we're not gonna hold you, but I did want to throw this out there and see if you and your mother, along with Professor Haas and his expertise in foundations, can come on and do a show about the importance of nonprofit foundations.
Yeah. All I gotta do is make one phone call. It's up to my mom. If she don't want to do it, I'll do it. Cause she's shy. She's a shy person. But I'm pretty sure she don't have no problem doing it. Okay. I just make a phone call and ask her.
Okay, gotcha. Because Professor Haas is an expert. Yes, sir, in that area. Yep. So, yes, sir. We want to thank you, man, for coming on, taking the time out to speak with us today. It was so enlightening and, educational. The entire time I just wanted more. I just needed more and just so much more information. Like I'm going to look up mining, because when I think about mining, I'm thinking about my shovel doing like my 49er thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're doing some panning, huh?
Yeah, for sure. But you have blessed us with so many jewels, man, and so many nuggets. We just want to thank you, man, from our platform at ASAP Elite, and we look forward to having you on again, man.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, man. Anytime, just let me know, and I'll definitely come back. Looking forward to it.
Well, it was definitely a blessing, man, and I learned a lot. So I know our audience learned a lot. So I appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate you too, Professor Haas. You guys take care, and thanks for having me.
Haas, this is incredible, especially when it comes down to foundation and it comes down to the new wave of economical and financial literacy and planning and the wave of the future. You know,
Yeah.
this is that introduction that we needed, not just as a culture this time, you know what I'm saying? As a being, you know, as a person, you get what I'm saying? And getting ready to, you know, become educated on what's forthcoming.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like us, we talk about it all the time. Knowledge is power, right?
Yes, sir.
And as we continue to move forward as a society, there's going to be new technologies. There's going to be new financial instruments. There's going to be, you know, new everything that we need to educate ourselves on. So
Yes, sir.
the thing is that this is an opportunity for people to jump on. Like I kick myself now that I didn't jump on Bitcoin when I did, because I could have got Bitcoin when it was cheap,
Yeah, not
when it
36
first
G's,
jumped
huh?
out. Yeah, bro, it was 2015 when I learned about it. So it's, you know, it's, you know, you live and you learn. But
Yeah, for
one of
sure.
the things about it is it's opened my mind to different things, because the thing is it was it sounded so provocative and so
It did. Cliche, and here today, gone tomorrow.
It's just like, yeah, here today, gone tomorrow. But that's the way the .com thing sound too, and you know, it created billionaires like Mark Cuban. You know,
right.
So yeah, we just one of the things I want our audience to know is, listen, be open to different opportunities. At least be open to research, to find it. Don't feel like it's not worth your time, because you never know what you'll land yourself into that'll change your life and the life of your bloodline. Forget just your family, but your bloodline.
Not only that, and I'm sure that a lot of our listeners had no clue that you can buy a share of a Bitcoin. You get what I'm saying?
Or you can buy a fraction of a share.
A fraction of a share. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, how much? You know, what I had to invest to get 5.
Yeah. Look, you thought you was putting a low enough number at that you could afford that, and then he really told you 36,000 per.
How about what? This was an incredible show. Hey, stay with us as we continue to produce quality content for you. And man, we appreciate everybody. And we'll be back next week on ASAP Elite.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.